While washing her face, Annie suddenly noticed the acne that had been with her for years was strangely starting to fade away. At first, she thought she was dreaming, but when she picked up the towel again, the pimples vanished before her eyes at an impossible speed. That instantly reminded her of the car accident earlier that morning. At first, she thought her father had hit a wild boar, but when the two got out to check, they realized it wasn't a boar at all, but a rare unicorn. Strangely, its hooves were glowing with a mysterious light. Just as Annie was curious about this new creature, her father, fearing discovery, suddenly grabbed an iron bar and brutally killed the unicorn. Its purple blood splattered across their faces. Annie believed her acne disappearing was somehow linked to that purple blood, and sure enough, her father's body also began to change. His nearsighted eyes could suddenly see perfectly clear, as if some strange force had cured his vision. But little did they know, a terrible disaster was already looming. Jack, a lawyer by profession, came to a tycoon's mountain villa because the wealthy man was dying of cancer. He needed Jack to prepare his will, but just then, Annie suddenly showed up and interrupted. The unicorn's body was still hidden in their car. She urged her father to get rid of it quickly, because she sensed it carried some kind of power. But before she finished, strange noises came from the car outside. The whole vehicle began to shake violently. The tycoon immediately sensed something was wrong. He rushed his men to check. Something inside seemed to be struggling to break free. Before anyone could react, the unicorn suddenly pierced through the car. Jack never expected, the unicorn had somehow come back to life. Terrified, the tycoon's guard shot it down instantly. But the secret was out. Jack could no longer hide the truth. He confessed to hitting the unicorn that morning, and explained the purple blood on their faces had triggered changes in their bodies. Hearing this, the tycoon realized the unicorn might possess healing powers. To test his hunch, the pharmaceutical tycoon ordered his men to take them to his lab. They ran a full examination on both bodies. The blood held no value, but the horn was highly unusual. Tests showed the horn's substance was what cured Annie's acne and restored Jack's eyesight. The tycoon was thrilled, this could cure his cancer. He immediately ordered his men to grind the unicorn's horn into powder and inject it into his fore. To his shock, after just one dose, his cancer miraculously disappeared. He even tossed aside the cane he'd relied on for years. The unicorn's horn truly had healing power. The tycoon saw a fortune waiting to be made. If all the horns were turned into medicine, he'd become unimaginably rich. But Annie suddenly felt uneasy. She searched the study for information on unicorns and discovered these mystical creatures had appeared as far back as the Middle Ages. Back then, greedy merchants hunted them on a massive scale. Yes, many were cured of disease, but all eventually fell under a terrible curse, meeting gruesome death. Fearing the tragedy might repeat, Annie begged the tycoon to stop. But blinded by greed, he ordered the unicorn packed up to be shipped elsewhere. Later that night, he hosted a champagne party to celebrate the father and daughter who brought him this fortune. But suddenly, the entire villa was plunged into darkness. Even their phones were mysteriously jammed. 10 minutes later, power was restored. Just as everyone relaxed, a chilling roar echoed outside. Confused, they froze in place. A medic suddenly felt a cold stab in his back. Then blood burst forward. When the woman opened her eyes, she was stunned. A unicorn's horn had pierced straight through the man's chest. No one expected. There was more than one unicorn. Clearly, the others had come for revenge. The guards opened fire in panic, but the unicorns were too fast. In moments, several guards were slaughtered.